We are your home theater and AV questions answered. This is AVRant. Want your home theater or AV question answered by Tom and Rob? Send it to question@avrant.com. Welcome to AVRant. I'm Tom Andry, and I'm here with
Rob H.
Yuri. I really want to believe Yuri's like in Russia or Ukraine or something like that. I want to believe that. I know it's not the truth but I don't know. Maybe it is, but I want to believe that because I want to believe that we have people in Eastern Europe that do. Have we ever had Eastern European somebody contact us? I know we've been to Belgium,
Yup.
Japan, Australia, Denmark, Malaysia, Indonesia, India. South Africa? Have we done South Africa?
Yep.
I feel like we have done South Africa as well. Puerto Rico, South America. We've had some people from South America. So now Eastern European. That's what I'm hoping for here. Yuri is putting together a media room in his apartment. He's trying to decide between a flat panel and a projection setup. Light control is not a problem, but neither is sitting close enough to a 75-inch screen to create a large field of view. The small screen size he'd consider is 65 inches, and the largest would be 135. Either way, he would create a 40 to 45-degree field of view, regardless of the size of the screen, which means he'll move his chair around. In his mind, the flat panel would have an advantage with HDR content. With an acoustically transparent projection setup, he would have an acoustical advantage with the center speaker at ear height behind the screen. What would we suggest and what would we prefer ourselves? A really nice 75-inch flat panel like the Sony X940D or a similarly priced $4,000-ish 135-inch projection setup. I'm going to let Rob answer this one first. Go.
Okay. This is tough. But I do have to say, first of all, apartment setting. So going insanely large probably isn't really in the cards. Man, a 75-inch, really nice HDR capable TV. You could sit 7 feet away from that and have a nice 42-degree field of view, for example. That's closer than obviously most people would sit to their flat panel television, but it's not so close that you're going to feel really squished in my opinion. I would actually kind of look at which room in your apartment are you going to be using, because the size and the dimensions of the room might inform you on your best seating position. Now, of course, if it's a flat panel, you can put it on a stand and move that away from the wall as necessary so that your seat isn't, say, dead center in the room, which would be bad acoustically.
Or a telescoping mount, too. Would do that.
Yeah, so there's always ways around it. But let's say you have a room where sitting 7 feet away from a flat panel TV would happen to work out really nicely dimension-wise. I would have a tough time saying that you should go to a projection setup because, like you said, I completely agree. HDR content is always going to look more spectacular on a flat panel where you can actually, the X940D can go over 1,000 nits. It can do that full DCI color. That's going to be really impressive. So my honest answer is I'd be leaning myself. You said, what would I do myself in this scenario? I'd be leaning towards that 75-inch flat panel.
Okay, I don't see the acoustical benefits of putting a center channel behind an acoustically transparent screen.
Really?
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but you're going to be sitting so close to this thing, and it's one seat. I don't know why you need a center channel at all. But if you really want to have a center channel still, I have never, in my experience, thought to myself that my center channel, which has often been quite a ways below my projection screens or my TVs, I've never thought that was coming from underneath my TV.
Okay.
Maybe you're sensitive to that, and I'm maybe not as sensitive as you are. That's certainly possible. But if you're going to be sitting as close as you're saying you're going to be sitting, and first of all, I think Rob said on with HDR content, you're just not going to get that from a projection screen right now.
No.
It's just not available at any sort of reasonable price point. And you can get a lot more performance out of a lot more spectacular performance too, out of a really nice 4K flat panel screen like you're talking about. Acoustically, you're probably going to be fine with running a phantom channel center anyways. And even if you're not, I don't really think that there's a big problem having the center channel a little bit below inside of whatever cabinet you put it in, or on a stand in front of it, or whatever. I mean, honestly, dude, it's going to be. To me, this is an easy choice.
Okay.
I would definitely go with the flat panel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's the spectacular nature of sitting 12 feet away from a 135-inch screen. There is something about that because, our brains are not unaware of how much space is around us. So we are aware when we're only sitting, 7 feet away from a TV. There's something in our brain that goes, okay, I'm not sitting really far away from a really huge screen. But yeah, once you look at all the benefits that you can get, and again, what apartment do you have where you can sit 12 feet away comfortably from the screen,
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, we're in agreement.
Yeah. So with the larger flat panel screens, sizes becoming more common, like the 85-inch Lee Stupid Echo M Max model, that I put the stupid in there myself. Yes. Do we think they'll start cutting into projector sales? Will only the largest home theaters with multiple rows of seats opt for projection? When that TV was announced, that thought did cross my mind.
Yeah.
But frankly, 85 inches, while large and very impressive, and I see a lot of benefits of going with the direct view panel like this versus a projection screen. When you start getting anything larger than that, and a lot of us don't have huge home theaters,
right,
and we still have 92-inch screens. Mm-hmm. We still have 100-inch screens, and no one's touching that yet with a flat panel
at a reasonable price. I mean, there are the 100-inch flat panels, but they're
well, at a comparable price.
Yeah.
you can get a Lieco stupid thingy for a price that rivals a projection.
Well, yeah, I mean, $4,000 for that 85-inch. That's kind of crazy.
That is a comparable price, but it's not comparable to a 100-inch.
Right.
Yeah. It just isn't. So, do I think they will? I think it's possible. I think anything's possible.
Well, I mean,
but
I do
for
think
right now, I don't see it happening.
I do think it starts cutting into maybe like those 92-inch size, because you're saying instead of 92, I can go 85, sit 6 inches closer and have the same experience, right?
Right.
So I can see that starting to cut into that, but ultimately it comes down to viewing distance, right? And what kind of viewing angle you want, because if you're in the room size, you're going to be 12 feet away. An 85-inch just isn't going to cut it if you want a cinematic experience. So but I agree that sort of means it's only going to be for larger sized setups, right? If you're sitting in that up to 10 foot away range, which is really common, right? A lot of people are 10 feet or closer. If that's where you're sitting, then it starts going, do I really need to go projection? Because
most people sitting 10 feet away, most people sitting 10 feet away are looking at 55-inch TVs when they go out there. They're not looking at 85-inch TVs.
Yeah.
They're just
but
not.
For the home theater buffs like us, we're sitting 10 feet away. We go 65 inches isn't big enough. And previously you go, well, if it's not 65 inches, I'm going to go projection because there was nothing affordable larger than that.
That's right. But now there is.
Now there's 85 at $4,000. So I agree. I think that does start to cut into that particular segment of the market.
Yeah. It's nibbling away. I don't think it's cutting. I think it's nibbling.
Want your question answered? Send it to question@avrant.com. This is AVRant.
Now go out and listen to something.